بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وبه نستعين.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. أما بعد. The book we're going to start on is called Furū Al-Fiqh by Yūsuf ibn Hasan ibn Ahmad ibn Hasan ibn Abdulhādi As-Sālihi, Jamāl Ad-dīn ibn Al-Mibrad. Before we talk about the book and we branch off, let's talk about the author. He's from Syria, from Damascus, from a historic town of As-Sālihi, which is at the foot of Mount Qasiyun. After the Crusaders invaded Palestine, Al-Qudama, which is the family of Qudama, they fled Palestine to this area and settled in this area. And who's from that family? Al-Qudama, Muwaffaq Ad-dīn ibn Qudama, who's one of the most notable ulama of the Hanbali madhab of all times. He served the madhab extensively through various books. He wrote some books for beginners, some books at the intermediate level, and some advanced like Al-Mughni, the brown book. Ibn Qudama rahimahullah ta'ala established a masjid that's still standing today. It's called Masjid al-Hanabila. And that's how the Hanbali madhab became popular in that town. Between the death of the great Hanbali Imam Ibn Qudama and the birth of this author here, Ibn Al-Mibrad, is approximately 220 years. Ibn Al-Mibrad's lineage goes back to the lineage of Umar ibn Khattab radiyallahu anhu. He actually has a poem detailing his lineage all the way back to Umar. His name is disputed. Is it Ibn Al-Mibrad? Or is it Ibn Al-Mabrad with a fatha and the mim? Or is it Ibn Al-Mubarrid? Which doesn't really matter, but Mahmud al-Arnaut said the majority chose Ibn Al-Mibrad, and that's what I settle with. He was born 840 years after the Hijrah, so he wasn't of the early level of scholars, meaning the early centuries, nor is he contemporary. He's actually right around the middle. He died around 500 years ago. That's not too far back with the early Salaf, and it's not contemporary as well. He learned with the biggest ulama of his time, and that's how one develops in ilm and excels. Ilm is taken from ulama. In fact, the best, most knowledgeable ulama of haqq on our time, they're the ones that took or had a vast background in learning from various shuyukh on various sciences, like Shaykh Hamud al-Uqla rahmatullahi ta'ala alayh, or Shaykh Ali al-Khudayr fakkallahu asra. They had a variety of ulama on various sciences, and that gave them the bedrock foundation to build on and excel. One of Ibn al-Mibrad's students, Shams al-Din ibn Tulun, he wrote a biography, a large volume, and it was a biography on his Shaykh. And sometimes what may appear to be the success of the da'wah of a certain Shaykh, of course it's from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but after that, the students play a big role as means. And sometimes that's where the failure comes as well. Ibn al-Mibrad, rahimahullah, authored over 400 books. Some are printed, and some, as Zarkali says, that there's still manuscripts in the Zahiriyya or Asad Library in Syria. He wrote on fiqh, on hadith, on grammar, on tafsir, on history, even on medicine. One of his books, and it's actually the only book of his I read in the past, is a 2-volume book called Zubad al-Ulum. It contains over 40 sciences. He actually wrote a whole volume with just the titles of his books in it, listed in alphabetical order. And it appears that he dedicated his life to authoring. He died less than 70 years old, 909 years after the Hijrah.